The night sky of the alien world was heavy with mist. The air was thick and silent, only the sound of the explorer's boots pressed against the strange soil. He had been sent on a mission to map this unknown land, but deep inside, he felt something was waiting, something unseen. The trees around him were tall and twisted. Their branches glowed faint blue, as if the forest itself was alive. Strange shadows moved in the distance, but he told himself it was only the fog, only the wind. He walked carefully, his hand never far from his weapon. Suddenly, the silence broke. A sound pierced the air, soft and trembling. It was the sound of a child crying. The human froze. His heart jumped. This planet was supposed to be empty. No records of humans living here. No colonies. And yet, there was a cry, weak and full of pain. He followed the sound, every step echoing louder in his mind. His breath turned cold. His instincts screamed danger. Still, he moved closer, and then, through the mist, he saw it. A small figure curled up near the roots of a glowing tree. It was a child, but not human. The skin shimmered silver, the eyes glowed softly like stars, tiny hands covered the face, and the cry shook the air with sorrow. The human whispered, "Who are you?" But the child looked up with wet eyes, and the words that came out froze his blood. "Please help my mother, human. She's dying." The human could not believe what he heard. The alien child spoke in broken English, the voice desperate, innocent. Filled with fear, he stared in shock. How could this being know his language, and why call him with such trust? The child stumbled forward, tears glowing on the strange skin. Tiny fingers reached for his hand. "Please, no trick, no lie. My mother will die soon. Help us." The voice cracked with hopelessness. The explorer looked around, his mind raced. Was this a trap? Was someone watching? The forest was silent again, too silent, but when he looked into the child's glowing eyes, he saw no trick, only the fear of losing someone, the raw pain no enemy could fake. He knelt slowly, his hand shaking. "Where is your mother?" he asked. The child pointed deeper into the forest, into the shadows that seemed to move on their own. Something in his heart pulled him forward. He had lost people before. He knew the look of a child begging for life. He could not turn away. As they began to walk, the mist grew thicker, the air colder. The trees whispered like voices. The human felt eyes on him, hidden shapes in the distance. He wondered if they were truly alone. The child walked quickly, pulling at his hand, fear pushing every step. "Hurry, they don't want her saved," the child whispered. The human's chest tightened. Who were they? What danger waited ahead? Yet still he followed, because now it was not only about mystery, it was about saving a life, about answering the cry that broke his heart. The forest grew darker, the ground trembled under his boots, shadows moved closer, but the child held his hand tighter, glowing tears running down the small face. "Please, please don't leave me." The human did not answer, but inside he had already made his choice. He would not abandon this child, not tonight, not on this strange alien world, and as the mist swallowed them both, the story began, the journey of trust, danger, and a desperate cry that would change everything. She gasped, her chest heaving, the glow stabilizing, brighter, steadier, stronger, the poison retreating from her veins, fading into nothing. The child looked up with wide eyes, glowing tears falling faster. "It's working, human. It's working." The human exhaled, relief flooding through him. The woman's breathing slowed but steadied, her glow now bright and constant. Her eyes opened fully for the first time, shining with strength. She looked at him with wonder, her voice stronger than before. "You have done what none of my kind dared. You carried the cure in your courage, not only in your blood." The human sat back, exhausted but calm, yet in the shadows outside the cave, faint red eyes glowed once more, watching, waiting. The cure had worked, but the war had only just begun. The forest closed in around them, each step echoing like a drum in the silence. The human felt the weight of unseen eyes pressing on his back. Every instinct told him to turn around, to go back. Yet the small alien child pulled at his hand with desperate strength. The mist shifted and twisted, forming shapes that looked like moving figures. He tightened his grip on his weapon, his heart beat louder with every passing second. The child glanced up at him with glowing eyes full of trust. But in the human's mind, a question burned. Was this real, or was it a trick? He had heard stories of alien worlds. Some spoke of creatures that could copy voices. Some could make illusions, luring explorers into death. What if the child's cry was only bait? What if behind those innocent eyes was something darker waiting to strike? The human slowed his steps, his boots pressed into the glowing moss. The child stopped too, looking up with panic. "Please don't stop, my mother needs you, she is close to death." The voice trembled like broken glass. The human studied the child carefully. The silver skin shimmered like starlight. The eyes were wet with tears. The small chest rose and fell with fast breaths. Everything seemed real, too real. But fear whispered inside him, fear that he was being led into a trap. "Why should I trust you?" he asked, his voice low and heavy. The forest carried his words into the fog. The child blinked and gripped his hand tighter. "Because I have no one else. They all want her gone. But you came. You listened." The words hit him harder than he expected. He remembered the times he had been alone, begging for help that never came. Memories of war, of lost comrades, the faces of children left behind. Maybe that was why his heart could not turn cold to this one. Still, doubt crawled in his mind. The air grew colder. The trees around them seemed to lean closer. Dishindo. A mist thickened like a wall. It was a place perfect for an ambush. His every step felt like a step into a snare. Suddenly a sound cracked the silence, a sharp snap of a branch behind them. The human swung around, weapon raised. The mist moved but revealed nothing. Only silence returned, but he knew the sound was real. Someone or something was following. The child clung to his arm, shaking. "They are watching us," the small voice whispered. "They don't want my mother to live. They will stop you." The human's jaw tightened. The doubt grew stronger. If this was true, then the child was in danger as much as he was. But if it was a lie, then he was already trapped. They kept moving, deeper into the dark forest. His hand never left his weapon. His eyes scanned every shadow. The ground seemed to shift. Strange lights blinked between the trees. The forest itself felt alive, breathing, watching, waiting. The child spoke again, voice weak. "You must not leave me, human. If you leave, she will die and I will be alone." Something in those words broke the last wall of hesitation in his heart. He had seen enough sorrow in his life to know when pain was true. Maybe it was a trap, maybe he was a fool, but he could not ignore a cry like this. He knelt down and met the child's glowing eyes. "I will not leave you, but if this is a trick, I will not forgive it." His voice was sharp but steady. The child nodded quickly, almost falling into his arms. "No trick, no lie. I swear on the stars." Tears rolled down the silver skin, glowing in the faint blue light of the forest. The human sighed. He felt the weight of danger pressing from every side. Yet his choice was made. He would follow the child, step by step, deeper into the mist, deeper into the unknown. As the forest swallowed them once more, the doubt remained heavy in his chest. But behind the fear was something stronger. A spark of hope that maybe, just maybe, saving this child's mother would lead to answers bigger than both of them. The forest stretched endlessly before them. The mist grew darker, and every step felt heavier. The human's boots sank slightly into the soft, glowing ground, each print leaving behind a faint trail of light. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. The alien child held his hand tightly, pulling him forward with urgency. The small figure's silver skin shimmered in the pale glow of the trees. The child's glowing eyes flicked nervously from side to side, as if expecting danger to appear at any moment. The human's mind raced. Every sound in the forest seemed alive. Branches creaked though there was no wind. Strange whispers rose and fell in the distance, like voices too soft to understand. His instincts screamed at him that the forest was not only alive, but watching. "Keep moving," the child whispered, voice trembling. "They follow. They always follow." The human gripped his weapon tighter, scanning the shadows between the glowing trees. Sometimes he thought he saw shapes moving, tall figures that vanished the moment he blinked. The forest felt like it was closing in, and with every step the mist thickened until the world beyond a few meters disappeared. The ground began to slope downward. Roots twisted across their path like traps waiting to catch a careless foot. The child moved quickly, too quickly for someone so small. Yet fear gave strength. The human followed close, his eyes never leaving the shadows. A low rumble passed through the earth. The human stopped, crouching slightly, listening. It sounded like something moving beneath the ground, something large. The child froze too, clinging to his arm with wide, glowing eyes. "Don't stop," the child begged. "The forest listens when you stop." The human's chest tightened. He had fought in wars, seen death in machines, but nothing felt as unnatural as this place. Still, he kept moving, trusting the child's strange warning. As they pressed forward, the mist swirled into shapes, sometimes forming human faces, sometimes monstrous fangs. The human forced himself to ignore them, knowing they were tricks of fear, but deep down he felt the forest was testing him, waiting to see if he would break. Suddenly, the silence shattered. A howl rose in the distance, long and sharp, echoing through the mist. The child gripped his hand so tightly it hurt. "Hunters," the child whispered. "They have found us." The human's heart pounded. The sound came closer, footsteps crashing through the brush, heavy and fast. Shadows shifted all around them. The human raised his weapon, eyes scanning for movement. Through the mist, a dark figure appeared, tall and thin, its eyes glowing red. It carried a long weapon that shimmered like crystal. The human's finger hovered over the trigger, but before he could fire, the child pulled his arm sharply. "No, not here. We cannot fight them here." They ran. The forest blurred around them. Branches whipped at the human's face. The ground shook with every step of the hunters behind them. The howls grew louder. More joined in. The pack was closing. The child guided him toward a narrow path between two giant glowing roots. "This way," the child cried, voice breaking. "The path hides us." The human ducked into the path. The glowing roots formed a tunnel. The air inside was damp and heavy, but the sound of the hunters faded slightly. Still, he knew they were close, hunting with patience. The child finally slowed, gasping for breath, tears streaking the silver skin. "They will not stop. They want her gone forever. They fear her. They fear what she carries." The human knelt, catching his own breath. "Who are they?" he asked firmly, but the child only shook their head, eyes wide with fear. "No time. Must hurry. Mother is waiting. She is fading." The human look. Ed back through the tunnel. The mist at the far end glowed red for a moment, as if eyes were staring, watching, waiting. He turned back to the child, and without another word, he stood and nodded. The hunters had not given up, and time was running out. The cave grew colder as silence wrapped around them. The human knelt beside the dying mother, his hand resting gently on the stone bed. Her glow flickered like a candle at the edge of burning out. The child's small frame shook with sobs, gripping tightly to both mother and stranger. The human stared into the woman's eyes, weak yet full of strange familiarity. She was alien, yet the human blood inside her spoke to him in a way he could not deny. He saw pieces of his own people reflected in her, the shape of her face, the tone in her voice. "You carry our tongue," he whispered slowly, almost afraid of his own question. "Does that mean you carry our memories too?" She coughed, her voice cracked, but determination pushed through her weakness. "Yes, I remember the human who stayed. He loved my people. He gave his life to protect us. He was my father." The word struck the human like a blade. She was half human, a living bridge between two species who believed themselves separate, now dying in the shadows of fear. The child pressed their glowing face into her chest, muffling sobs. "Don't leave me, mother. Please don't go." The voice trembled. The woman stroked the child's head weakly, her hand shaking. "You are my hope, my light, but you cannot survive without him." She turned her eyes back to the human. "You must help. Only your kind carries what I need. Your blood holds the strength mine has lost." The human's chest tightened. He had seen dying soldiers beg for life before. He had seen the helpless eyes of children left behind, but never had the choice rested in his hands so heavily. He reached into his pack, pulling out a small medical kit. Inside were vials and injectors, tools designed for humans, not for alien bodies. Doubt clouded his mind. If he gave her the wrong dose, it might kill her faster. Yet if he did nothing, she would surely die. The child looked up at him, glowing tears streaking silver cheeks. "Please, human, please save her. I will do anything, just don't let her die." He closed his eyes for a moment, breathing deep. Memories of his own past rushed through him. His mother's face long ago, her last words before sickness claimed her, the helplessness of watching her fade. He could not let another child feel that same emptiness. He opened his eyes, steady now, his voice low but sure. "I will try, but if this works, you must trust me, both of you." The woman nodded weakly, her hand trembling as it reached for his arm. "I already trust you, more than my own kind, for they fear me. But you choose to stay." Something shifted inside the human. Her words cut deep. He realized this was not just about saving a life, it was about connection, about the bond between species that others wanted destroyed. As he prepared the injector, shadows flickered at the cave entrance, the faint glow of red eyes in the mist. The hunters were still near, still watching, waiting for their chance. He ignored them for now, focusing only on the trembling figure before him. He placed the injector near her arm, pausing. "This might hurt. It might fail, but it is all I have." Her voice was almost a whisper. "Do it, human. Let the stars decide." He pressed the injector. The medicine flowed into her glowing veins. The reaction was immediate. Her body convulsed. Light flared, then dimmed. The child screamed, clutching her tighter. The human held her down with steady hands, his heart pounding as he feared he had killed her. Then slowly her breathing steadied, her glow flickered brighter, faint but growing. She gasped, her eyes opening wider, color returning to her skin. The child cried out in joy, hugging her. "You're alive, Mother! You're alive!" The human exhaled. Relief was hing over him, yet deep in his mind he knew this was only the beginning. Saving her life had placed a mark on him, and now the hunters would never stop. The night sky of the alien world was heavy with mist. The air was thick and silent, only the sound of the explorer's boots pressed against the strange soil. He had been sent on a mission to map this unknown land, but deep inside, he felt something was waiting, something unseen. The trees around him were tall and twisted. Their branches glowed faint blue, as if the forest itself was alive. Strange shadows moved in the distance, but he told himself it was only the fog, only the wind. He walked carefully, his hand never far from his weapon. Suddenly, the silence broke. A sound pierced the air, soft and trembling. It was the sound of a child crying. The human froze. His heart jumped. This planet was supposed to be empty. No records of humans living here. No colonies. And yet, there was a cry, weak and full of pain. He followed the sound, every step echoing louder in his mind. His breath turned cold. His instincts screamed danger. Still, he moved closer, and then, through the mist, he saw it. A small figure curled up near the roots of a glowing tree. It was a child, but not human. The skin shimmered silver, the eyes glowed softly like stars, tiny hands covered the face, and the cry shook the air with sorrow. The human whispered, "Who are you?" But the child looked up with wet eyes, and the words that came out froze his blood. "Please help my mother, human. She's dying." The human could not believe what he heard. The alien child spoke in broken English, the voice desperate, innocent. Filled with fear, he stared in shock. How could this being know his language, and why call him with such trust? The child stumbled forward, tears glowing on the strange skin. Tiny fingers reached for his hand. "Please, no trick, no lie. My mother will die soon. Help us." The voice cracked with hopelessness. The explorer looked around, his mind raced. Was this a trap? Was someone watching? The forest was silent again, too silent, but when he looked into the child's glowing eyes, he saw no trick. Only the fear of losing someone, the raw pain no enemy could fake. He knelt slowly, his hand shaking. "Where is your mother?" he asked. The child pointed deeper into the forest, into the shadows that seemed to move on their own. Something in his heart pulled him forward. He had lost people before. He knew the look of a child begging for life. He could not turn away. As they began to walk, the mist grew thicker, the air colder. The trees whispered like voices. The human felt eyes on him, hidden shapes in the distance. He wondered if they were truly alone. The child walked quickly, pulling at his hand, fear pushing every step. "Hurry, they don't want her saved," the child whispered. The human's chest tightened. Who were they? What danger waited ahead? Yet still he followed, because now it was not only about mystery, it was about saving a life, about answering the cry that broke his heart. The forest grew darker, the ground trembled under his boots, shadows moved closer, but the child held his hand tighter, glowing tears running down the small face. "Please, please don't leave me." The human did not answer, but inside he had already made his choice. He would not abandon this child, not tonight, not on this strange alien world, and as the mist swallowed them both, the story began, the journey of trust, danger, and a desperate cry that would change everything. The woman's eyes locked onto his, stronger now, though still faint. "Human, you are part of us now, your fate tied to ours. Do not turn back, for the enemy has seen your choice." The human nodded slowly, knowing she was right, and as the cave walls pulsed faintly with light, he felt the bond between them strengthen, a human and an alien family bound by more than chance, bound by survival. The woman's glow flickered stronger now, faint light rising from her silver skin like dawn through mist. But her breaths were still shallow, her body weak. The child clung to her side with glowing tears still falling, hope and fear mixing in every trembling sob. The human sat back on his heels, staring at the injector in his hand. The medicine had slowed her dying, but it was not enough. Her body trembled as if fighting something deeper, something no human drug was meant to cure. Her eyes opened halfway, glowing faintly. "Not finished," she whispered, her voice thin as air. "The poison is old, it eats me still. Your medicine holds it back, but does not end it." The human frowned, confusion twisting in his mind. "Poison? "What poison?" he asked. The child's small voice broke through the silence. "The hidden ones. They did this. They cut her with their crystal blades. The wound carried poison from the shadows. It spreads in her blood." The human's chest grew tight. He had seen poisons in war, weapons designed not to kill quickly but to break slowly. Yet this was worse. It was alien, unknown, and still spreading inside her. He opened his medical kit again, scanning the supplies, bandages, vials, small packs of medicine, but none of it was made for this world. None of it promised safety. The child looked at him desperately. "There must be a way, human. You saved her once. You can save her again. Please don't stop." The human clenched his fists, his thoughts racing. He remembered Sewell, omitting his commanders once told him, "Sometimes a cure is not in the kit, but in the world around you." He glanced at the glowing veins in the cave walls, the strange crystals that pulsed faintly like living blood. The mother's weak voice returned. "The cure is here, in this cave. The stones hold life. They were once sacred to my people, but we abandoned them, fearing their power." The human moved closer to the glowing wall, placing his hand against the pulsing veins. Warmth spread through his skin, almost electric. It was alive, flowing with some kind of energy. He pulled his hand back quickly, his heart racing. The woman's voice trembled. "The stone's light can burn the poison, but it must be joined with your medicine. Alone it will not heal me. Together they may save me, but it will be painful, dangerous." The child looked up at the human, glowing eyes wide with pleading. "Please, do it, even if it hurts. Please save her." The human's jaw tightened. He took out another injector, carefully scraping fragments of the glowing crystal from the cave wall. The shards pulsed faintly in his palm, almost like tiny beating hearts. He mixed them with the medicine, watching as the liquid shimmered with strange light. He turned to the woman kneeling. "This could kill you faster. Are you sure?" Her faint smile returned, weak but certain. "Better to try than to fade slowly. I trust you, human." He steadied his breath, placed the injector against her arm. The child held her tightly, whispering prayers in a language unknown. The human pressed the device. The glowing liquid entered her veins. At once her body arched in pain, light flaring bright. Her cry echoed through the cave like thunder. The child screamed, trying to hold her still. The human pressed down firmly, sweat running down his face as he prayed silently that he had not made a mistake. The glow from her body grew blinding, silver and gold threads racing through her skin. The poison inside burned like fire, visible beneath the surface. Black veins twisting and breaking apart. The forest opened into a narrow valley. The mist thinned and the air grew colder. The human felt a deep heaviness in his chest, as if the ground itself carried sorrow. The child slowed, their small glowing eyes fixed on a cave hidden between two massive stones. "This is the place," the child whispered, the voice almost breaking. "My mother waits inside." The human scanned the entrance. The rocks shimmered faint blue, strange markings carved into them. The patterns pulsed softly like a heartbeat. He felt unease crawl over his skin. This was no ordinary cave. It was something older, something sacred. He placed a hand on the stone wall. The surface felt warm, alive, as if the rock itself was breathing. His eyes narrowed, and for a moment he wondered if stepping inside would change him forever. The child tugged on his arm, tears glistening. "Please hurry. She does not have much time." He followed, his boots crunching against crystal-like sand. The cave grew darker with each step, yet glowing veins along the walls lit their way faintly. The air smelled of iron and smoke. Then he saw her, lying on a bed of stone, her body fragile yet radiant, skin glowing silver, but faint and dim, as if the light inside her was fading. Her breath shallow, her eyes half closed. The human froze, his breath caught. She was alien, but something about her face, the structure, the softness, was not completely unknown. He saw traces of humanity in her features. The child ran to her side, kneeling and clutching her hand. "Mother, I brought him, the human. He will help you." The voice cracked with tears. The woman's eyes fluttered open, faint glow spilling from them. Her gaze met the human's, weak yet filled with ancient strength. She spoke in broken English, each word trembling. "Human, you came. You answered the call." The human stepped closer, confused and shaken. "How do you know my two?" "You," he asked, his voice low. Her lips curved into a weak smile. "Because part of me is human." The words struck like lightning. The human staggered back, his mind racing. Part human, part alien. How is that possible? She coughed, her body shaking. The glow flickered like a dying flame. "Long ago, Your kind came here, explorers. One stayed, one loved. I am born from that union." The child clung tighter to her, sobbing softly. "Do not waste your breath, mother. Save your strength." The human's heart pounded. The truth shifted everything. This alien family was not fully alien. They carried human blood, a connection lost in history, a secret hidden in the stars. Her trembling hand reached toward him. "You carry what I need, your blood, your medicine. It can save me, for we are not so different, not as you think." The human froze, doubt clouding his thoughts. Was she speaking truth, or was it another trick? Yet when he looked into her glowing eyes, he saw not deception, but the same fear he had seen in dying soldiers long ago. He knelt beside her, the weight of the moment pressing hard. "If this is true, then you are proof. Proof that humans and your kind share more than war or distance." Her weak smile returned, faint but certain. "Yes, but that is why they hunt me. The hidden ones. They fear the union of our blood. They fear what it means. They fear the child." The human's gaze snapped to the child, who lowered their head, tears dripping silently. The truth settled heavy. The hunters were not chasing blindly. They were hunting to erase a secret that could change the galaxy. The woman's body trembled again, her glow dimming further. "Please, human, help me, save me, and protect my child." The human placed a hand over hers. His decision was not yet spoken, but in his eyes burned the fire of choice. He could turn away, leave this mystery, or he could step into it, risking everything for lives that were not his own. As the cave grew darker, the whisper of the forest returned outside, shadows shifting beyond the entrance.